Okay, looks like we're good to go.
All right, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our first Team Captain Tuesday of our spring series. Today, we are going to be covering anything about registration. So from registering your team to registering more participants, company, teams, you name it, we're going to go over it today. So first and foremost, I'd like to introduce a couple of the walk staff on the call. Jen Brownlee, she is our Northwest PA walk manager. She will be monitoring the chat room, the chat box, just to make sure if you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop those in the chat, and Jen will bring those to Meg's attention. And I would also like to introduce Meg. She is our Pittsburgh walk manager. She will be doing the actual training today of registration. So we'll be sharing her screen, and she will walk us through exactly how to do certain registration functions. So Meg, if you want to, just take it away.
Thanks, Lindsay. All right, I'm going to start sharing my screen here. Okay. All right, can everybody see the walk registration website? Perfect. So this is the Pittsburgh walk registration website, but all of our walks across the board have a similar registration website and process. So what we do here today will be similar no matter what walk you register for. Same with your family members, team members, no matter where they're based and what walk they register for, they will have a very similar registration experience. So just a quick run through. On the registration page, there's a registration button right up here at the top that will take you to the registration process. But as you scroll down, this is where you'll find all of your walk information. Another register button will also take you to that launch page, and a donate button. And then as you scroll down, this is where you'll typically see all of your walk details, your staff partners' contact information. If you have anybody who's interested, or yourself who's interested in volunteering, this is an active volunteer button. It's a short little survey where we collect your contact information, and then some other buttons down here that directs you to different pages and resources within the website, which will be a different training. So just wanted to give a quick run through of that first page that you'll see when you go to the walk registration website. So what we're going to do is you can click either one of those registration buttons, and I apologize, it's going to probably take a bit of a second with everything I've got going on here on my laptop. But the first question you're going to see when you go to register is if it's going to ask if you've participated in the Walk to End Alzheimer's before. If you have, you're going to click yes, and it's going to ask you for your username and login. And this is where we find a lot of people get tripped up. You don't remember your username, you don't remember your password. Totally okay. Give us a call, send us an email. We can look up your username. We can also, we can't look up your password, but we can send you a password reset email, or we can reset your password for you, and then you can change it once you've logged into the system. You can also click this link, and then again, your staff partner's name and contact information should be right down here for you to contact us directly if you're having any problems on this first page. If you haven't registered for the walk before, you're obviously going to click no, and then that's going to ask you to create a username and password. So I'm going to use my husband's account from last year. He hasn't brought back this team yet, so I'm going to use his information to demonstrate today. So you're going to type in your username and password here, and then you're going to hit login. And the first thing it's going to ask you, if you were a team captain last year, sorry, let me move this out of the way. If you were a team captain last year, it's going to ask you if you want to bring back your team. So most of the time the answer is yes. So we're going to, for training today, we'll restart this team. But your other options down here are to join an existing team. So you might be joining a different team this year. You can click that button. You could be starting a new team or changing your team name. that's start a new team, or you can always participate as an individual. You don't have to participate as part of a team. So if you're not restarting your team, please feel free to click one of those options. But we're going to restart this team this year. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And these are just the basic registration questions. So would you like to be the captain of this team? Yes, he's going to be the captain of this team. However, this is also sometimes a problematic area. Sometimes we'll have a participant register for the team and accidentally restart the team as the team captain when they don't want to be or they didn't mean to be. This isn't a problem. We can address this on our end in the system. We just need whoever wants to be the team captain to be registered. So say I go ahead and I restart this team and Lindsay's like, whoa, this is supposed to be my team. I'm the team captain. All Lindsay needs to do is register and let me know that she's actually the one that's supposed to be the team captain. And we can go ahead and change that. So the team captain, and there can be co-captains, we can make that happen as well. So all of those changes can be made once you go through the system. It's not necessarily set in stone. So the second question that we get to is, will you join us on walk day? The default is yes, that you'll be joining us in person. If you aren't planning on joining us in person, this is where you would click no. We scroll down to our personal fundraising goal. So what the personal fundraising goal means is myself as an individual, I plan on raising whatever my choice is here. So you can see it's $100 fundraising for the t-shirt. Our Champions Club starts at $500 and goes up. So I'm going to put in $500. And here, when you scroll down a little bit further, you can make a self-donation. If you don't want one of these amounts, you can always type in an amount, 10, 5, whatever donation you'd like to make if you want to make one, or you can skip this step at this time. And so we're going to go on, and I want to interrupt myself and say, if you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to jump in and ask. You don't have to wait until the end if something comes up during this. So then we get to the contact information page, and here, truthfully, this is just all of your personal contact information. Make sure you're typing in your address, correct? This is an important piece because last year we mailed the walk t-shirts for those who hit that $100 fundraising minimum. So we want to make sure that we have your correct address, that it's getting shipped to the correct location. I'm not sure if we're shipping t-shirts yet this year. We'll know in the next few months what our t-shirts will look like, but just in case, make sure you're typing in your shipping address correctly. If you move or something changes, over the next several months, again, please contact us. We can update it in our system and make sure that your shirt gets sent to the correct location. And then these are just some additional questions, which some of them, the little red stars obviously mean that they're required. But it's really helpful information for us when we're planning our events, just to collect some of this information. So, you're going to answer these as best as you can. If you're participating in honor of someone, please feel free to fill that out. This question here, yes, please text me at the number, or no, I don't wish to receive text messages. So these are, when we send out text messages about some of the challenges that we're doing or important information leading up to or on walk day. I know in Pittsburgh last year, the weather was terrible. We had really bad rain and storms. So we sent out a text message just to let our walkers know that, yes, we were still at Highmark Stadium. We were still going to have a walk. Be safe, but come and join us. So, we use our text messages for all manner of things. If you're willing to put in your employer, also really helpful information to us. And then the question about joining the walk committee. So, please share with your family and friends, your team members, if they have any interest in joining the walk planning committee. To answer yes to this question, we're always looking to build our planning committees, and this is one of the best ways for us to connect with individuals who are interested and start that conversation with them. And then just down here, some additional information that you would possibly like to receive from the Alzheimer's Association. So about our advocacy and AIM programs and our weekly e-news. And then last but not least, you're going to agree to the terms and conditions. And this is just our, liability waiver to participate. So let me just make sure I answered all of this. It'll tell me if I didn't, and we're going to review the details. And so it'll take you to a page. There's a big button right here, complete registration. But before I get there, I want to scroll down to the bottom here because this is a really important step. So if you want to register another person, say when I register my family team, so I register myself, my husband, and my 3 kids, I do that all in one sitting. You can't go back. Once you've completed this, once you've hit this complete registration, you can't go back and register anybody else under the same registration process. So if you're trying to register your husband and your kids, or yourself and your mom or dad, any family members, you're going to want to hit this register another person before you hit complete registration. You can obviously go back in and register them at a later time, but you can't use the same username and login to register that person at a later time. So it's a really important step, that if there's multiple people that you want to register in one sitting, that you've got all of the information and you're ready to sit down and do it all at the same time. Because once you've completed that registration and your username and password is in the system for this year, you can't go back and use it to register other individuals. So I'm actually not going to complete the registration here because I want to go back, and I'm going to log out as Josh because I want to show about registering a company team. So I'm just going to go back, and anytime you hit the register button, it should just pop you back right here to that home screen. And so I'm going to pretend like I haven't registered for the walk before. And this is what it looks like if you're trying to start a team, join a team, or walk as an individual. So we're going to start a team. And I'm just going to, my screen keeps changing. And so this is what it looks like if you're new to starting a team. You're going to create your team name here. It can be whatever you want. It can be a company name. It can be a friends and family name. It can be your name. It's really up to you. Here you set a team fundraising goal. So we talked about our personal goal earlier. So your personal fundraising is what will earn you the walk t-shirt, those champion club incentives. A team fundraising goal is your collective goal as a team. So we suggest $2,000, but of course you can adjust that to whatever you're comfortable with. And all of your staff partners are here to help coach you and provide support to help you reach those fundraising goals. So we're just going to leave it at $2,000, and then team type. Here, there's the different types of teams that we offer. So we're just going to select company and organization today. And then here, this is important, especially for companies. Are you participating as part of a company or organization? And you can click this, and this brings up a list of pre-existing national companies that have a partnership with the Alzheimer's Association. So you can scroll down and see if your company is part of a national partnership. There's a very long list. There's some local companies here for our Greater PA chapter. So you can see these here, or you can enter a new organization. So you can type in your company name here. So let me see. I'm going to just use Alzheimer's Association Greater PA. And then we're going to go to step 2 out of 4. And so this brings up those registration questions again. So kind of circles back to, now we're back to collecting, are you going to be here on lock day? Here's your personal fundraising goal. Here's your self-donation. And then the next screen is going to be contact information and whatnot. So I'm going to pause here and see if anybody has any questions, or if there's anything else, any particular areas that you want me to walk through again.
Meg, do you want to reiterate about the email with the family registration? Just real shortly, just recap one more time.
Yeah, so it's, I try to make it as clear and concise as possible, but so once you start your registration process and you enter that email address, so my family email address, once I enter that for whoever I'm registering, once I hit that complete registration, I can't go back and use that same email address to register anybody else. So if there's anybody that you want to register under that email address, you have to do it all in one step. You have to do it all in one sitting, because once you hit that complete registration button at the end, that's it, you're done. You'll have to, if you're registering anybody else, you're going to have a different email address and username and password for that person. So that's a really key step in making sure that you're just ready to have everybody's information. And you can change when you're going through, let me see if I can get to the next screen. Go back to the contact information. So when you're putting in contact information here, you can obviously update the contact information for each registrant. So, you know, if I'm doing myself, I'm going to put in all my information here. This is where you create your username and login if you're new to the system. And then the next time around, I'm going to put in my husband's information, and I'm going to change the phone number and to be his phone number. And same with my kids, or I'll take out or I'll use my cell phone. So this is also where you might get 4 emails because you've used the same email address to register multiple people. So we can correct that in our system too. And our email system does try to dedupe emails so that when we send out like a weekly newsletter, or you get information from us about the walk, that you're not getting multiple emails to the same email address. We really do try to do what we can to deduplicate emails in the system and make sure that you're not getting, you know, 5 Pittsburgh Walk newsletters when they're sent. So, but this is just an important step to continue that registration process if you have multiple people to register before you hit that complete register at the end. So any questions about this? It's pretty straightforward. As many people know, we do not charge a registration fee. So unless you do a donation to kickstart your fundraising, you will not have to enter any credit card information during the registration process. But
I have a question.
Sure.
What would be the advantage to say me registering my family members myself instead of having them register? Is there like an advantage? I mean, like, why wouldn't people just register individually? Like, why would you want to have all that, I guess, complication of getting several emails and things like that?
I think, you know, for the majority, it makes sense for everybody to register themselves, and really, you know, it's probably what we prefer as an organization. But in my case, when I register my husband and my kids are young, they're grade school age. So okay. I'm just registering them all together. So in that case, when you've got, you know, younger family members, or you want to make sure that they actually register, or you've got somebody, you know, mom isn't comfortable on a computer, so you want to register her. There are situations that call for, you know, one person to do multiple registrations, but for the most part, you know, if people have access to the internet and are comfortable on the online registration system, certainly they're going to want to go ahead and register themselves.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions, concerns, and even anything that, you know, doesn't necessarily pertain to registering? are there any in general questions about the walk right now that anybody has? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen then. Go back to, okay. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us. And of course, if you have any questions along the way, or you start to go through this, or a team member starts to go through this process and they have questions, like I said, our contact information is typically all over those pages. You can reach out to any one of us at any point in time, and we can help walk you through it. But yeah, I think nothing in the chat going on. Okay.
No messages in the chat, Meg.
All right, thanks, Jen.
And these will all be, we're recording every single one of these in the series. So if you want to share this with your team members, or if you know someone that might be new to walk, that you think this would be an advantage, you don't have to join live every week. We'd love to see you so you can ask questions in real time. But if you can watch it afterward, and that'll help us answer some questions right off the bat if you're running into certain things. These will also eventually be available on each of the walk websites under the Team Captain Resources tab that we had Meg had brought up a little earlier in this video. So other than that, thank you all for joining us today. We truly appreciate you taking the time to learn with us. And like we said, if you have any questions, not just about registration, please feel free to reach out to your staff person. And these will also be posted in our Facebook groups as soon as we can get them out. But thank you for joining us.
Sorry, Lindsay, I was just going to say in 2 weeks, I think the next one's on the March 22nd, we'll be doing that web page walkthrough where we'll be going through all of those different buttons and all of the resources and information that's located under each of those buttons. So there's a lot of information on those tabs for team captains, for participants, for fundraising, for connecting with us on Facebook. And we're continually building out and adding information to those as we move forward through walk season. So next week, we're going to do a deep dive into the website and all of the tools that are available to you as a Walk to End Alzheimer's participant. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
You too.
Bye-bye.